What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Nullus. His opponent today in the blue color kind of played a little bit cheekily here as the civilization, as the god Ra, worshipping the god Ra. His name is Kvoth. The map is Oasis. The way this tournament works is if you lose a game, you get to pick the next map. So Kvoth picked Oasis after losing 2 games. He has used Oranos in one, he used Hades in the other, and now he's going in with his Ra. But Oasis is a map which is known to be a very Atlantean favored map. Atlantean players love playing Atlantean on Oasis. However, the god Odin is a fantastic counter to Oranos on this map for the fact that you can go double Ulfsark really early. It's actually a very late second Ulfsark here from Nullus, and collect all of the goats, send the goats home, and then great hump them. And that way you don't really need to leave your base, and you can do some pretty crazy fast Ragnaroks off of 1 gold mine in your main base and actually defend it really, really easily against all of the Oranos pressure or Kronos pressure, or whatever pressure is coming for you, and win a easy game with that. But Kvoth does a little bit of mind trickery here. Rolls the dice a little bit because he's picked Ra here, and Ra counters Odin on this map pretty heavily. You'd have to expect because of how low the hunt is. But had Nullus just gone Oranos like everyone would expect, then he would have been facing Oranos versus Ra on this map, which is really, really tough to deal with. But we obviously didn't see that, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we'll see how this game is going to go as a house getting dropped here for Kvoth. Very important to get that house down on the 14th population. You want to get it on the 14th, just before the 14th villager pops. We also see a cheeky little amount of priest empowering here, as the villager's going to be not really having any problems here. So it's a really nice usage there of that priest empowerment mechanic there, jumping between the gold mine and the house. As Kvoth's going to be dropping his temple here. He's got himself the monument. He's got himself the temple. The question is, will he go for a second town center, or will he stay 1 town center in this game? As he's got just a little bit more food left in that zebra here. It might be worth it for him to move the goats over here and hold on to this. We'll see how things are going to go. He does have giraffe on this position though, so he's actually completely fine. Thank you so much for the 17 months, Tim Boss. Appreciate that one, my friend. As Nullus is moving forward here, we'll see what Nullus is going to do. There are a couple of pretty brutal Norse versus Ra strategies you can do here. For example, an early 3rd town center as Odin into a very, very early Ragnarok can be pretty brutal to defend from the Ra position if they aren't careful. So you have to be pretty well aware of what is potentially going to be coming at you when you're playing from the Ra side of things. Otherwise, some cheeky shenanigans from the Odin can come through. Not only that, there's more really strong strategies. For example, if you go for like a 1 town center chariot archer style play, or a 2 town center advance time or something, the Odin player can go 1 town center Njord timings here, which are really, really tough to deal with. Not only that, we see an Ulfsark getting sniped there. I don't know how he fell, but he walked all the way up to here. You can see where the arrow shot to. Big misplay from Nullus here in this one as the Ravens searching around. We do see the relics have been found. A lot of the goats heading back. Look at all the goats which Nullus has got under his control right now. 16, 18, 19 goats here, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely huge. We see the walls coming down around this location. Kvoth not wanting to take any chances here in this game. We see the walls getting deleted over here as well. Walls actually getting deleted around the temple here for whichever reason. As Kvoth might be thinking he can safely grab this town center over here, as Freya is relatively late through from Nullus. So we do see the villagers finishing up on this. They are marching forward, leaving the final giraffe over there. Kvoth's also got himself 220 wood in the bank. The 5-minute advance time here with Ra has been something that's kind of become relatively standard for whatever reasons. We do see a second town center getting dropped by Nullus. The advantage of getting a second town center as Norse versus as Egyptian, it's kind of obvious, but the advantage is you don't need to use your villagers to build the town center. So while you have less units here to get an early second town center up, and Kvoth is going to get his town center up first, you get all of that extra gather time by not having to use your villagers over there. So we do see the Valkyrie coming in onto this position, getting some good damage done onto that Wadjet here, as the Wadjet going to be retreating back, going to be able to heal that one back up. Plow coming through. Do we have Shadoof in just yet? Yes, we do. Shadoof has come through. So too is Pickaxe. Lots of gold going to be coming through for Kvoth very, very shortly as the farm's starting to get dropped down on this position. This is a very, very risky farm placement here from Kvoth. This is something that I advise not to do when you're playing as Ra, because the Odin player, the Norse player, the Greek player, the Atlantean player is going to put tons of pressure onto this location, and you're going to be in a really, really tough time for the rest of the games. We do see that Kvoth has got a little bit of idle time from those town centers, even after having that 4-minute advance time. So things going a little bit wrong for him in the early games. We're starting to see the walls getting thrown up on this position here to block off any sort of raids here, walling up this location over here just outside of line of sight here of that watchtower. We'll see if Nullus has got a tree or something on this position. He does, so he can wall up onto that slight tree over there as well, and prevent this town center from being an easy grab here for Kvoth. As it seems to me that Nullus is opting to try and take this game down the route of the Greek style of play with Norse, which is effectively you try and control the entire map and utilize the fact that the Ra player has got no real strong defense to random walls getting thrown up across the map, and following that, you're going to be able to just kind of strangle the Ra player moving forward, as we see houses getting dropped all across the map here as well. Nullus, he might even be going for a fast heroic age behind all of this, as well as the armory coming down at this point, as Kvoth going to be advancing through Njord very, very shortly as well. So the big question is, what do you do from the Ra side of things against a potential fast 2-town center fast heroic from the Odin? And I think the answer is you need to get aggressive, and you need to get aggressive fast here as the Ra. You need to put get a good locust in. You need to get pressure onto this location and all the other good stuff. Nullus might be thinking to go through what are these villagers doing? Nullus might be thinking to go through Njord here, but I think that Skadi has to be the right option. Even though you gotta love the dream here of a Walking Woods timing attack on this town center with, say, 130 population, 140 population or something like that, with a whole bunch of Huskarl raiding cavalry and all the other good stuff. So how many farms did Kvoth actually end up building here? He goes for 16 farms, so he's going to have a really, really strong economy, and he's getting away with the easiest kind of classical age or in the world here, mining this gold mine in the middle of nowhere, no man's land, gets himself the Migdol stronghold up. Skadi is on the way now for Nullus. Nullus getting himself Axe of Muspel as the Rock does pick up that Patsukos over here. Where's the Wadjet gone? Did he lose it? He must have lost the Wadjet somewhere here. Is it really gone? I didn't notice him losing it. Oh dear. We do see the Rock flying over here, going to be looking for some sort of a locust moving forward, as his Migdol stronghold is up. We'll have to wait and see. Is he going to go for the siege work straight away? Oftentimes, if you haven't seen your opponent doing anything as Ra, oftentimes it's better to actually drop the siege works first to get siege towers out to put pressure on. As we do see the army now starting to push through, break through this gate over here as well. There is a... I'm not not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of the rock flying around trying to find villages. But what I'm more a fan of is if your opponent walls you in like this, is to use your rock as a to jump over the wall, to basically just leave the wall, ignore the wall, and just start raiding your opponent over here. As you do see the rock coming over onto this position, will we see a locust of some variety attacking this one here? As the rock does pick that one up, we see the cavalry moving through here, and he's going to attempt to get some type of defense on this position. As the rock pops over here, one of those cavalry does get frozen down here as the dwarf getting chased away. And we'll see if Kvoth can maintain this pressure while continuing to expand in this game. As he's going to be continuing to drop his rock as best as he can. As the throw and axeman going to be coming through here to try and defend this one. Still no locust getting dropped here. And we still don't have a siege works just yet, as this wall in the middle is going to be getting broken down. We see the hill fort is now up for Nullus. He's got a little bit of a timer here, as it seems like Kvoth is just going to be leaving this position. I'm surprised we still haven't seen a locust drop there. It doesn't seem like it's that bad of an idea. 9 villages on that position is pretty good, as the one throwing axeman going to be attempting to take out this rock, and it might actually be able to pick it off, as it's not really sure where it's going here. We do see the Pazukos coming over here, and no watchtowers just yet, as Kvoth is still enjoying his rock raids quite a lot, as another medium throwing axeman going to be coming through here to start getting a little bit more damage done. The rock looks like it's just going to be flying back home. No, it's not. The throwing axeman gets a couple more shots in. Still takes a hot minute to actually end up taking the rock down. It's got 44 HP remaining. Kvoth finally decides it's time to pull out here, as his cavalry do spot the army of Nullus trying to get this third town center up for the time being. And it looks like Kvoth is going to be dropping his Pazukos here for the time being. We do see the Ulfsark coming through. Going to attempt to path block over here as well, as the cavalry look like they're falling over here to the Ulfsark coming in onto this position. Kvoth has still not utilized his locust just yet, but he's clicked up through Horus, ladies and gentlemen. So he's going to have a huge timing to hit a tornado, cause a lot of problems for Nullus moving forward in this game. As his cavalry moving around. Look at all the villages here. 18 villages on this town center. Tornado into locust could be huge, and he finally decides to drop his locust down on this position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So many dead villages. That's a huge locust there from Kvoth, but it is a little bit late. 12th minute of the game, as Nullus drops down to 49 population here, as Horus is 75% of the way through. We still don't have a siege works up just yet for Kvoth. He's getting it over here to break down this gate and try and get himself the third town center, as these cavalry searching up onto that top gold mine over here. We still see the town center attempting to come up over here, as the cavalry could move in and try and snipe those throwing axemen, but we'll see how things are going to go. As Kvoth here, he's running his cavalry over to take out the Tome Town Center. Fortified Town Center is coming through now for Kvoth, as well as the tornado getting dropped in onto the main town center. He does click it in the wrong kind of position here, so he might get unlucky with this, as the tornado can very easily decide to have a mind of its own and leave the town center. You have to kind of click down and to the left of the town center. It always moves up and to the left, as the town center does go down, however, so Kvoth not falling away from that, as we do see the shifting sands getting dropped down onto this position, as the frost drops here, but the army here doesn't get frosted, as Kvoth manages to pull away from this location. The villagers are going to be sitting idle here for 45 seconds, which is a big deal. Do we see anything else coming? There is no... We do see a forest fire getting dropped down, as the villagers are going to take a lot of damage on this position. We'll see if they're actually going to get taken out or not, as the army swings back around for Kvoth, trying to take this out. I wouldn't mind seeing the Avenger moving into like the main base here or something like that, as we do see more cavalry coming through to try and take out those villagers over on this position over here as well. Flood control coming through from Kvoth, as well as the Avenger going straight after those dwarfs on that position. We do see the heavy cavalry moving in to the main base, looking for some more villager kills here. It's still an advantage, Kvoth, in terms of villager count, as the villagers going to be freezing over here, but in the end of the day here, they are going to be all getting taken down, and Kvoth is going to be kicking himself for that shifting sands there. When all is said and done, it looks like his shifting sands has not really accomplished all too much, but while this is going on, we do see the catapult out on this position going after the hill fort. He does have cavalry in reserve over here, We also see a siege tower coming through to break down this gate and stop this town center from going the wayside of Nullus here, as his villagers retreating back up to the top corner of the map, trying to keep themselves alive. Meanwhile, the villagers coming through back over onto this position as more units want to come through over here. We've got 27 favor remaining for Kvoth as well. We do see more Avenger queued up at this point, but Nullus, he just needs to hold on here and kind of stabilize after all is said and done. But will Kvoth allow this? He's got himself 3 catapults here. The thing that he hasn't quite got himself out just yet is Axeman, and he needs Axeman here in this game. We will be seeing the town center coming up for Kvoth. He's going to be able to get this large gold mine as well. The villagers happily mining over here for Nullus. He's grabbing this town center back up. He's trying to get this town center up as well, as his 3rd town center is getting torn down at this point. Nullus needs to get in over here and figure this one out, as the catapults here are going to be able to decimate this town center. Even with those Olfsarks all coming through here, we will be seeing this this gate attempting to get targeted down, but he does miss that one, trying to retreat the catapults back, as we do see him moving away from that town center, as the Olfsarks able to repair that one back up for the time being. Meanwhile, a bit of a raid onto the gold mine over here, as still no axemen have come out for Kvoth. He is a little bit hurting on the economy over here. Villagers finishing up on that town center here as well, as we do see the rock raids starting to come through for Kvoth. You hate to see it as a Norse man, as a Norse player, but one rock comes down, another rock is remaining here. We still got 3 throwing axemen in on this position. As he picks the rock up, he's going to be flying away from this position. Nullus here is just about to get his 2nd town center up. He's got this town center up now, but look at the population differential here. It's 97 to 160. Kvoth has got next to no food in the bank here. He's still making himself cavalry here when he desperately needs axemen, as another catapult kind of accidentally getting trained out by Kvoth, as the rock flying around over here. We do see a longhouse coming down on this position as well, as Kvoth is moving through onto this position, looking to try and take down a hill fort, take down a town center, prevent that from going up. The throwing axemen need to chase this rock around. It's only got 80 HP remaining here, as Nullus is getting incredibly close to getting that town center up. It looks like even if Kvoth is paying attention here, he's not going to be able to stop this one, as the catapult coming through. We see the one catapult goes down, the other catapult going after that town center. It's going to be getting picked off fairly soon as well. The throwing axemen are still in hot pursuit over here, as they do manage to find this one. The catapult get dropped. Going to get a little bit of extra damage done onto that town center over here, as it looks like Kvoth manages to hold at this point. Nullus is at 50 villages. Kvoth is at 76 villages, with a big advantage now in this game. He just needs to stabilize, get himself out an army that counters the Norse army, and he should be in a good position. Nullus still is going to have access to Balder here in this game, which is a very difficult thing to deal with. We do see the good micro here from Kvoth, keeping his Avenger in the back, as one of those special abilities gets used on a catapult here, that it gives full Q there for the Avenger to move forward and start getting a little bit of damage done. Not wanting to overcommit or anything here, as he does manage to freeze that one there, but with the Pharaoh in the back line here able to take the Frost Giant down, I'm sure that Avenger is not going to be going anywhere soon. Still a lot of catapults coming out here for Kvoth, as he desperately needs to make himself some sort of axeman here, as we've got the Spied build starting up here for Nullus. He managed to prevent that wall from coming up. The villagers all getting taken out. We do have Skin of the Rhino through for Kvoth here, as he's getting pushed back over here, as the axemen trying to push through, but they are getting prevented from taking any good fights just at this point. Kvoth here doesn't have any armor upgrades, and neither does Nullus here, it seems, as the fight is still ensuing in this middle of the map here. Kvoth's still struggling to get himself up to population, whereas Nullus here is getting closer and closer. Somehow, some way, his villagers are starting to pump out. Look at the upgrades here as well. We've got Plow, we've got Winter Harvest, no irrigation just yet. As Nullus, he's still trying to pressure everywhere on the map. There's another gold mine back here. There's this gold mine over here about to expire, but he still has a full 3rd gold mine on this point of the map, as the villagers getting the market up, and Kvoth needs to figure out how he's going to defend over here. Now, one big tech switch that Kvoth could do is to go into Horus Axemen here. Horus Axemen are a ridiculously strong unit against Norse, because it allows them to build strictly axemen and be able to take down buildings as well. You don't need catapult, you don't need villagers on wood here. You just build yourself those Horus Axemen to make things work. But at this point, it's just not quite working out for Kvoth here, as the army is starting to push through on this position. We've got heavy infantry versus basically heavy cavalry, so the resource is relatively equal in terms of the spend there. As Nullus is trying to push through, we do see the Pharaoh coming through to try and pick off that Frost Giant over here. We've got another raid coming onto this position to try and take out the villagers here, as we see a random siege works coming up. Do have some defense coming through from Nullus as he's able to pay attention on this location as the villagers come through to drop this siege works down over here as the Ulfsark pushing in. It looks like, I mean, Kvoth can easily just turn around and take this fight to clean up those Ulfsark here, but he's not quite managing to do it. As Kvoth has held over here for the time being, but at what cost? As we see another temple coming down for Nullus. Nullus has got to be getting closer and closer to being able to get to the next age here, as Nullus just says, as long as he doesn't die, he gets into a position where he's in a good position here. 80 villages, full population, fortified town centers coming down, dropping longhouses all over the place, temple coming down as well. Look, I mean, Norse late game is really not that bad. Norse late game is actually very, very winnable in a lot of different situations. You just have to set up for it well enough to be able to take out your opponent. Setting up towers at the right position, making sure you get baluster out in the right order, walls going down. All these things are vitally important to make the Norse late game work. Balder Rams, these things like that. You can go Balder here and not click Ragnarok because there is no pressure that Kvoth can realistically put onto you as the Odin player here in this game. But we'll see how things are going to go as Irrigation is coming through for Nullus to try and get himself a little bit more food income as the army swinging up to the top side of the map. Kvoth is not going anywhere in this game anytime soon here. He's got himself the Axeman, he's got himself the Chariot Archers out. This forces Nullus to move into kind of a medium raider or heavy raider Ulfsark type army. He desperately needs to get himself some upgrades here in terms of the copper mail, bronze mail, iron mail upgrades while he's trying to defend this. Meanwhile, pushing up onto the top side of the map here, we still haven't seen any attempt at taking down this town center, but look at this temple. It blocks off the trade route of Kvoth for the time being. As it looks like Nullus is held here for a little bit, but he's currently falling behind here ever so slightly. It would seem as his army's a little bit spread out, a little bit out of a kind of mismatch in a way. 94 villages, so Nullus is going further and further up on the villager count as this town center is getting cleaned up here. See how it goes as more catapults moving forward. If Kvoth can get a little bit of gold here, throwing some towers down on this position wouldn't go astray here. There's more units flooding in, and now we see the copper mail coming through for Nullus. Vitally important as the Chariot Arch is getting taken down. We've got the catapult trying to take down the fortified town center over here as well. As the catapult does fall here, the Pharaoh are going to be going after the Frost Giant on this position, taking that one down. Nullus could utilize his throwing axeman to try and finish off that Pharaoh there to keep his Frost Giant alive, but he hasn't quite worked that one out just yet, as the army of Kvoth still struggling to kind of trade equally here in this game, as Nullus's town center though is getting closer and closer to falling. Masons and architects wouldn't go astray here, as we do see a cheeky siege works getting dropped up on this position by Kvoth to try and help his catapult get into this fight a little bit earlier. As heavy cavalry coming through for Nullus, he knows he needs those cavalry to deal with the medium axemen here. We'll see if he's going to be able to make that work, as the gold mine up here is expiring, and this is a very, very tense moment here for Nullus. He's got himself the ox caravan, but only very, very shortly. This middle gold mine here is vitally important. This gold mine up here as well. I mean, he can move up to it. There is a gap here. He's got the advantage in a way, as we do see the raid now coming in onto the ox caravans over here, as Kvoth has got to realize that he's got some sort of an advantage here if he can hold on to this position, but I don't know if he can, as the army coming through. This army is starting to look very scary. Bronze mail, copper mail, copper shields through for Nullus. That's fine. No upgrades for Kvoth as he's trying to trade here in the middle of the map. We see some towers coming up for Kvoth to try and start kind of tower marching exercise as the ox caravan's getting taken down on this position, and we see Balder coming through for Nullus, a kind of kind of a... This is going to be a very, very aggressive, very, very all-in-ish Balder, it would seem. I would prefer to see him not click the button if he can help it, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to here in this game. As the marker gets deleted, the Ox Caravan's going to be moved up to the top side of the map here. And now we see yet again, another rock raid has begun as... see what Kvoth is going to do. He's going to make a handful of spearmen here to try and take out these villages, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. A couple of villages will end up going down, but look at Nullus's villager limit at this point. He's got 100 villages here. This is going to be an absolutely huge Ragnarok coming through. And the thing is here that Kvoth is about to run out of gold. Obviously, this is a gold mine he can grab. He's about to run out of gold, and these villages are going to immediately be able to take out this town center, which shuts down the trade route. So this could be a very, very tough Ragnarok for Kvoth to hold here. As we see watchtowers coming through for Nullus, as the rock raid coming through, looking for that market over here. Does manage to find it, taking that one down. We'll see if Nullus is going to be trying to throw up another market elsewhere on the map. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do so just yet as bronze shields coming through. Do we see an attack over here? Yes, we do. The rock getting taken down. A lot of thrown axemen going after this rock, but it looks like the market, is it going to stay alive? No, it will not. As the market comes back up, you've got to remember, as we see Ragnarok actually getting clicked straight away. 375 HP, or population of HP, 375 population Ragnarok here, as these Rag heroes are going to immediately attack this town center over here. As we see an immediate siege works getting dropped, but I don't think that's going to be enough to hold over here, as the army going to be moving straight through the middle of the map. More watchtowers coming through, and this is going to have to be the hold of Kvoth's lifetime here. He's got unupgraded chariot archers with very few fully unupgraded chariot archers here. The heroes of Ragnarok are going to be pushing through here to do tons of damage. We see the watchtowers coming through here. That's going to be a really, really big help as the fire giant tries to clean this up. More axemen coming out, more Rag heroes moving around the bottom side of the map as the Ox Caravan's able to start up yet again. This town center will be going down. The resources in the bank for Nullus are incredibly low, but he will be able to build this town center up if he can kill it off. But maybe there's just not quite enough of an army here at this point. We do have the axeman coming through. The town center is getting very, very low as the army swinging through on this position, taking everything out here. The population has only dropped about 20 population. Or was it 20? Was it 375? I can't remember. But it's dropped. It must have dropped quite a bit, actually. Must have been 375, so Nullus has lost a lot of army trying to push through on this location. He does have 11 trade caravans though, so the fire giant follow-up is going to be a real thing. And the fire giant here with 1 HP is getting away with murder there as the town center does end up falling. We'll see if Nullus can get this one up for himself here, as Kvoth has dropped down to 85 population as the heroes of Ragnarok coming through to try and take out the trade route over here. And in that moment, Kvoth has to tap out here, and Nullus claims the series 3-0 in commanding fashion. Nullus showing how strong Odin can be if you just don't panic and you just cover your weaknesses. I thought Kvoth's strategy here was really, really nice. I think the shifting sands with those villagers was a little bit overkill. Just shifting sands forced the frost onto the army, and then try and push through the middle seemed like the best play here. Losing 15 villagers after you've gone for a fast mythic is a really big setback. And generally speaking, I'm a fan of shifting sands with villagers, but not if there is a ceasefire there or a frost there to catch them out in the middle of no man's land. But Kvoth gets taken out here. Nullus gets the dub, gets to go on to the quarterfinals here. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.